The screen door slammed like a gunshot in the sticky Alabama heat, and Logan froze on the porch steps, his heart pounding harder than the cicadas screaming in the live oaks. "Mom, I can't keep pretending anymore. I'm gay." The words hung in the air, thick as the humidity, until Evelyn's voice sliced through it all. Cold, unyielding. "No son of mine is gay. You're dead to me if that's what you are." She turned away, her back a wall of floral apron and unspoken grief, leaving Logan staring at the empty kitchen where fried chicken cooled on the counter, the family recipe now tasting like ash in his mouth. He'd rehearsed it 1,000 times in the mirror of his cramped bedroom, the one with the Braves poster peeling at the edges and the faint scent of his dad's old aftershave lingering like a ghost. Logan Harper, 22, broad-shouldered from hauling hay bales at the local feed store, had always been the golden boy of Willow Creek. Straight-A student, quarterback on the high school team, the kid who fixed Mrs. Jenkins' leaky roof without charging a dime. But beneath the flannel shirts and easy grins, he'd buried a truth that clawed at him every night. Stolen glances at the lithe lines of boys in the locker room, the way his pulse raced when Jake from chem class brushed his arm. It wasn't a phase, it was a fire, and coming out felt like striking the match. Evelyn didn't scream or throw things, which somehow made it worse. She just deflated. Her hands, calloused from years of nursing shifts at the county hospital and scrubbing pots for church suppers, gripped the edge of the sink until her knuckles whitened. "Your daddy would roll in his grave," she whispered, her voice cracking like dry earth under boot heels. Logan's father had died 5 years back. Heart attack while mowing the lawn, gone before the ambulance sirens wailed. He'd been the buffer, the one who'd tousle Logan's hair and say, "Son, be true to yourself, whatever that means." Now, without him, Evelyn's world narrowed to Bible study groups and PDA bake sales, where whispers of sin slithered like kudzu vines. Logan packed that night, stuffing jeans and a few t-shirts into a duffel bag while fireflies blinked outside like hesitant stars. He left a note on the fridge. "I love you, Mom. I'll call when I can." The old Ford pickup coughed to life at dawn, gravel crunching under tires as he peeled out of the driveway, the rearview mirror shrinking Willow Creek to a speck of regret. He aimed north, toward Atlanta big city lights, anonymity, a chance to breathe without the weight of small-town stairs. The radio crackled with Alan Jackson crooning about chasin', that neon rainbow, but Logan switched it off, letting the hum of the highway fill the silence instead. Atlanta hit him like a fever dream. Skyscrapers clawed at the sky, horns blared in a symphony of chaos, and the air smelled of exhaust and possibility. He crashed on a buddy's couch, Tyler from college, a lanky psych major who'd always suspected Logan's secret, and scraped by with barista gigs at a hipster coffee joint in Midtown. Mornings blurred into steaming lattes and forced small talk, but nights were electric. The bars on Cheshire Bridge Road pulsed with bass-thumped freedom, where men in tight jeans laughed without shame, bodies moving under strobe lights like they owned the dark. It was there, on a rain-slicked Friday 3 months in, that Logan first saw Hunter. The guy leaned against the bar at the Eagle, all lean muscle and sharp jawline, his blonde hair tousled like he'd just rolled out of bed after a bender. Hunter Cole, 24, with eyes like storm clouds and a tattoo of a compass rose peeking from his sleeve. Navy vet turned graphic designer, or so the grapevine whispered. He caught Logan's stare across the crowded room, raised his beer in a lazy salute, and smirked. "You look like you could use a drink that doesn't taste like regret," he drawled, voice low and Texan, sliding onto the stool beside him. Logan laughed, nerves buzzing like live wires. Guilty. Just moved here. Still figuring out the rules. Hunter's gaze lingered, warm and assessing, peeling back layers Logan hadn't known he was wearing. They talked for hours. Hunter's stories of boot camp pranks and desert nights under starlit skies, Logan's awkward tales of high school football and the ache of leaving home. By last call, Hunter's hand brushed Logan's thigh under the table, a spark that ignited something feral. They tumbled into Hunter's loft in East Atlanta, a converted warehouse space with exposed brick and canvases splashed with abstract fury. Clothes hit the floor in a frenzy, bodies colliding with the raw hunger of the newly unchained. Waking up tangled in Hunter's sheets, sunlight slanting through loft windows, Logan felt seen for the first time. Hunter traced lazy circles on his chest, murmuring, "Stay." Breakfast burritos from the truck down the block. It wasn't love. Not yet. But it was a lifeline, pulling Logan from the undertow of his mother's words. They fell into rhythm. Lazy Sundays binging Netflix with takeout pho, Hunter's fingers sketching idle hearts on Logan's forearm while they debated Tarantino flicks. Hunter had his edges, nights he'd vanish to the gym, pounding the bag until his knuckles split, ghosts of deployments chasing him in sweat. But with Logan, he softened, sharing playlists of indie folk that made the city feel smaller, safer. Back in Willow Creek, Evelyn stared at the phone that never rang. Church ladies clucked sympathies over lemon bars. That boy's gone wild in the city, mark my words. She burned Logan's old photos in the backyard fire pit one evening, the flames devouring smiles from Little League days, but the smoke stung her eyes like tears she wouldn't shed. Pride was her armor, forged in a marriage of quiet devotion and a God who demanded perfection. Yet in the hush of her empty house, doubts crept in, memories of Logan's father holding her close after a miscarriage, whispering, "We're enough." Just us. Was she enough now? The question festered, unspoken. Logan tried calling once, 6 weeks in. The line rang hollow, voicemail beeping like a judge's gavel. "Mom, it's me. I miss you. Please." He hung up, chest tight, and Hunter pulled him into a hug that smelled of coffee and cologne. "Give her time, babe. Some folks need a map to find their way back." But time stretched, and Atlanta's glitter began to chafe. Bills piling like unanswered prayers, the mirror reflecting a man still searching for home. One crisp fall night, as leaves turned the streets to fire, Hunter knelt in the loft, a simple silver band glinting in his palm. "Marry me, Logan. Let's make this forever." Logan's yes was a whisper, then a shout, sealing it with a kiss that tasted like rain and redemption. But across state lines, Evelyn clutched a faded ultrasound photo she'd hidden for years, her secret buried deeper than roots in red clay soil. The engagement party was Hunter's idea, a low-key bash at a rooftop bar in Ponce Highland, string lights twinkling against the skyline like a promise. Logan fidgeted in his button-down, the one Hunter had picked out at the thrift shop on Moreland Avenue, while friends from the design firm clapped him on the back. "To Logan and Hunter," Tyler toasted, raising a mason jar of sweet tea spiked with bourbon. "May your love be as unbreakable as Georgia red clay." Laughter rippled, but Logan's phone buzzed in his pocket, a Georgia number he didn't recognize. He ignored it, pulling Hunter close instead, their foreheads touching in the cool evening breeze. Life in the loft settled into a groove that felt almost normal. Hunter landed a freelance gig designing album covers for an up-and-coming Athens band, his sketches blooming with color on the drafting table. Logan quit the coffee grind for a spot at a nonprofit downtown, helping queer youth navigate coming-out stories in the Bible Belt. Ironic. Healing work that mended his own fractures. Evenings, they'd cook. Hunter's spicy gumbo bubbling on the stove while Logan chopped okra, arguing over whether Outcast or Rem defined Atlanta's soul. Sex was a language they spoke fluently, slow and exploratory on weeknights, urgent and wild after bar hops, bodies mapping each other's scars like sacred text. But shadows lingered. Logan's dreams jerked him awake some nights, Evelyn's voice echoing, "Dead to me." He'd slip from bed, pad to the kitchen for water, and find Hunter watching from the doorway, concern etching lines around his eyes. "Talk to me." "Lo," he'd say, pulling him back under the covers. Hunter shared his own baggage then, the ex-boyfriend who'd bailed during his discharge, the PTSD that turned fireworks into flashbacks. "I ran from Texas 'cause home felt like a cage," Hunter confessed one thunder-rattled night. "But with you, feels like freedom." Logan kissed the words away, believing them, needing them. Christmas loomed, and with it, the pull of family. Hunter's folks video-called from Austin, a boisterous crew with tamales and twinkling lights, welcoming Logan with virtual bear hugs. "Y'all come visit soon," his mom drawled, her smile wide as the Rio Grande. Logan's invite to Evelyn went unanswered. The letter returned marked undeliverable. He drove south anyway, solo, the highway a ribbon of asphalt under gray skies. Willow Creek looked smaller, shabbier, the diner where he'd flipped burgers now boarded up, the football field muddied from recent rains. Evelyn answered the door in her nurse's scrubs, exhaustion carving hollows under her eyes. "What are you doing here?" No hug, just crossed arms like a barricade. Logan swallowed hard, bouquet of daisies wilting in his grip. "Missed you, Mom. Wanted to see the tree. Maybe." She let him in, the house smelling of pine and pine sol, a single string of lights draped over the mantel. They sat at the formica table, nursing lukewarm coffee, words scraping like sandpaper. "I'm happy, Mom." Engaged, even. To a guy named Hunter. "He's good, served in the Navy. Draws like a dream." Evelyn's lips thinned. "Bible says it's an abomination, Logan. I raised you better." The daisies ended up in the trash, and Logan left with a cardboard box of his old things, yearbooks, a tarnished little league trophy, his chest a bruise that wouldn't fade. Back in Atlanta, Hunter iced his knuckles with frozen peas, listening as Logan unpacked the visit like a wound. "She'll come around," Hunter murmured, but doubt flickered in his eyes. Work stress mounted. Hunter's gigs dried up post-holidays, forcing him into late shifts at a dive bar in Little 5 Points. Logan noticed the changes, the extra beers, the way Hunter's laughs turned brittle. One night, scrolling Instagram over takeout lo mein, Logan froze at a tagged photo. Hunter arm in arm with an old flame, Marcus, at a vet reunion in Savannah. "Just buddies catching up," Hunter shrugged when confronted. But the lie hung heavy, a first crack in their foundation. Spring unfurled in dogwoods and azaleas, and they threw themselves into wedding plans. A backyard affair at a friend's farm in Decatur, mason jars for flowers, a playlist heavy on Jason Isbell. But betrayal brewed quietly. Hunter's phone buzzed at odd hours, texts he deleted too fast. Logan buried it, chalking it up to paranoia born of rejection. Until the night he came home early from a youth group meeting, the loft dark except for a sliver of light under the bathroom door. Muffled voices, Hunter's low rumble, another man's laugh. Logan's stomach dropped like a stone in the Chattahoochee. He pushed the door open, and there was Hunter, shirtless, Marcus's hands on his hips, lips inches apart in a moment frozen by the fluorescent buzz. "Low shit. It's not," Hunter stammered, shoving Marcus away, but the damage was etched in Logan's face, raw as a fresh tattoo. Marcus slunk out with a muttered sorry, man, leaving Hunter pleading on the tile floor. One drink turned into too many. "I swear, it was nothing. You're it for me." Logan wanted to believe, to cling to the compass rose inked on Hunter's skin, but trust fractured like cheap glass. They slept apart that night, the bed a chasm wider than the Atlantic. Reconciliation came in fits, therapy sessions at a queer center in Inman Park, where a soft-spoken counselor named Raj unpacked Hunter's guilt, Logan's abandonment fears. "Betrayal's a thief," Raj said. "Steals what you thought was yours." Hunter showed up, vulnerable, spilling about the void Marcus filled during his lonely deployments. Logan forgave, or tried to, their lovemaking tentative at first, then fierce, reclaiming territory. But the scar tissue pulled tight, a reminder that love in the South was as thorny as blackberry brambles. Summer heat wave baked the city, AC units groaning like old men. Logan's nonprofit threw a fundraiser at Piedmont Park, rainbow flags snapping in the breeze, and Hunter manned the grill, flipping veggie burgers with a grin that almost reached his eyes. That's when the call came, Evelyn's number flashing on Logan's screen amid the chatter. He stepped away, heart slamming. "Logan? Is bad. Heart. Like your daddy's. Come home." The line went dead, but the words echoed, unlocking a floodgate Logan thought sealed. He booked the first flight south, Hunter's hand warm in his. "We'll face it together," Hunter said. But as the plane droned over peach orchards, Logan wondered if home was a place you could ever truly return to, or just a ghost wearing your mother's face. Meanwhile, in Willow Creek, Evelyn lay in the same hospital bed where she'd delivered Logan 27 years ago, monitors beeping a dirge. The doctor, a kind-eyed woman named Patel, patted her hand. "Family's en route, Mrs. Harper. Rest now." Evelyn nodded weakly, her mind drifting to a locked drawer in her nightstand. A letter from 1982, yellowed and creased, from a college roommate named Clara. "I love you. Always will." She'd burned her bridges then, chosen the straight path of marriage and motherhood. But in the sterile hush, regrets surfaced like bubbles in a forgotten well, waiting for the pinprick of truth. The hospital air conditioner hummed a monotonous lullaby, chilling Logan's skin as he paced the linoleum corridor, Hunter a steady shadow at his side. Willow Creek General hadn't changed. Faded posters urging flu shots, the vending machine still stocked with stale pecan sandies. Evelyn's room was 204, the number burned into Logan's brain from childhood ear infections and scraped knees. He paused at the door, hand hovering over the knob, Hunter's squeeze on his shoulder the only anchor. "You've got this, babe." Blood's thicker than awkward. Inside, Evelyn looked smaller, swallowed by the bed's starched sheets, and 4 dripping saline like tears. Her eyes fluttered open, locking on Logan with a mix of defiance and desperation. "You came." It wasn't a question, more an accusation laced with relief. Logan crossed the room in 3 strides, sinking into the vinyl chair, Hunter hanging back by the window like a polite interloper. "Wouldn't miss it, Mom. How are you feeling?" She managed a wry smile, thin as tissue, like death warmed over, but alive, thanks to Dr. Patel's wizardry. Introductions were stiff, Hunter extending a hand, Evelyn eyeing the compass tattoo like it held secrets. Navy man. Huh? Logan's daddy was Army. Korea. Small talk bridged the gulf. Weather? Unseasonably cool. Logan's job? Helping kids like me. Mom. Kids who feel alone. Evelyn nodded, fingers twisting the bedsheet, avoiding the elephant in the room. Hunter excused himself for coffee, sensing the undercurrent, leaving mother and son in the fluorescent glare. I was wrong, Evelyn blurted after a beat, voice rasping like leaves in wind. Logan blinked, the words foreign on her tongue. About what? She sighed, gaze drifting to the window where magnolias bowed heavy with blooms. You. I said things. God. Logan. I was scared. Still am. But seeing you here, with him, Hunter, he looks at you like your daddy looked at me. Real. Logan's throat tightened, a dam cracking. You disowned me, Mom. Said I was dead to you. She winced, reaching for his hand, her palm cool and papery. I lied to myself longer than I care to admit. Pride's a hell of a drug, son. The confession spilled then, halting at first, then in a rush, like a levee breaking after flood season. Evelyn's college days at Auburn, sneaking kisses with Clara in the dorms, the thrill of forbidden hands under plaid skirts. She was fire, Logan. Made me feel alive in ways I never knew. But graduation loomed, and with it, expectations. A ring from Robert Harper, steady job at the mill, a life mapped in straight lines. Clara begged her to stay, to fight, but Evelyn chose safety, the white dress, the house on Elm Street, Logan's eventual cry echoing in the delivery room. I buried her deep, told myself it was a phase. Then your daddy passed, and it all rushed back. You coming out? It was like God holding a mirror, showing me my own sins. Logan listened, stunned, the pieces of his mother's armor clattering to the floor. Betrayal twisted in his gut. Not anger, but a profound ache for the woman who'd silenced her heart for conformity's sake. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He whispered. Evelyn's eyes glistened. Shame, son. The church, the town, they'd whisper Dyke like it was poison. But you're braver. And Hunter. He makes you shine. They sat in silence after, hands clasped, the beeps of the heart monitor a metronome to reconciliation. Hunter returned with styrofoam cups steaming, and the three of them shared stories over lukewarm Joe, Hunter's mishaps in Kandahar, Evelyn's wild tales of nursing pranks in the 80s. Laughter bubbled, tentative, then free, bridging years like kudzu over cracked concrete. That night, they checked into the Willow Inn, a no-frills motel with thin walls and a neon sign flickering vacancy. In the queen bed, Hunter traced Logan's spine, murmuring, proud of you, Lo. That was huge. Sex followed, slow and reverent, the room filled with the scent of rain on asphalt from a passing shower. Morning brought complications. Evelyn stabilized, but Dr. Patel pulled Logan aside in the cafeteria, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. She's tough, but the blockage was severe. Needs bypass soon, risky at her age. Logan's world tilted, the styrofoam plate of scrambled eggs turning to lead in his stomach. He texted Hunter, who was sketching at the motel's rickety desk. Surgery tomorrow. Scared. Hunter's reply was instant. On my way. We're in this. The procedure loomed like a storm front, and tensions simmered. Back in the room, Evelyn grilled Hunter gently. You love him for real? Not just the fun parts. Hunter met her gaze steady. With everything I've got, ma'am. Saw it in the desert. Life's too short for half measures. She nodded approval, but later, alone with Logan, she pressed a small velvet pouch into his palm. For your wedding. From Clara, her grandmother's ring. She left it for me after. Well, wear it knowing love wins, even if it takes decades. Drama escalated when word leaked to the church ladies. By noon, Pastor Hale arrived, Bible in hand, his face a mask of pious concern. Evelyn, this lifestyle, it's not too late to repent. Logan bristled, stepping forward like a shield. Pastor, with respect, that's my life. And my mom's fighting for hers. Focus on that. Hale's eyes narrowed on Hunter, the outsider, but Evelyn's voice cut sharp. Enough, Harlan. My boy's happy. That's grace enough. The pastor retreated, tail between legs, but his visit stirred the pot, whispers rippling through town like ripples in a mill pond. That evening, as surgeons prepped Evelyn, Logan and Hunter walked the hospital grounds, fireflies dancing in the twilight. Feels like we're rewriting the script, Logan said, leaning into Hunter's side. Hunter kissed his temple. Yeah, but scripts twist. Remember that. The betrayal lingered, a ghost at the feast. But Logan's forgiveness held firm. Love as choice, not fairy dust. They returned to find Evelyn wheeled out, groggy but grinning. Told him I'd be back for bingo. Recovery blurred days into a haze of Jell-O cups and bad TV. Hunter charmed the nurses with his sketches, caricatures of Dr. Patel as a superhero, while Logan read aloud from Evelyn's dog-eared Fanny Flagg novels, voices weaving normalcy. One night, post-meds haze, Evelyn beckoned Logan close. Clara and we had a daughter. Gave her up. Your half-sister, somewhere out west. The revelation hit like a thunderclap, layers peeling back to expose a family tree twisted with secrets. Find her, if you want. Tell her. Her mama loved fierce. Emotions crested as Evelyn mended, discharge papers in hand. Hugs at the door. Evelyn's arms fierce around Hunter. Take care of my boy. Logan's yes, a vow renewed. But as they drove back to Atlanta, Hunter's phone lit up. Marcus again. A slurred voicemail. Miss you, man. One night, Hunter deleted it, but the seed of doubt sprouted. Winds of conflict gathering force. Atlanta welcomed them back with a vengeance. Scorching sun baking the asphalt. Traffic snarling like a bad hangover. The loft felt alien after Willow Creek's quiet. Canvases gathering dust on easels. Mail piled like unanswered questions. Logan dove into work, organizing a pride panel at the Fox Theater. Rainbow banners fluttering in his dreams. Hunter, though, withdrew, late nights at the bar. Sketches half-finished. His laugh a echo of what it used to be. Just the grind, he'd say, kissing Logan's cheek before vanishing into the humid dark. The half-sister bombshell gnawed at Logan. Emma Ray, Evelyn had whispered, the name a key to a locked door. Armed with scraps, a birth certificate from '83, a vague California address, Logan hired a PI buddy from the nonprofit, sifting pixels for a face that might mirror his own. Days later, an email pinged, found her. Emma Rodriguez, 42, artist in Oakland. No contact info, But here's a link to her gallery show. Photos loaded. A woman with Evelyn's sharp cheekbones, auburn hair streaked gray, paintings of fractured hearts in bold oils. Logan's finger hovered over message, heart a drum solo. He showed Hunter over pizza on the fire escape, city lights winking below. Think she'd want to know? Hunter chewed thoughtfully, sauce smudged on his lip. Only one way. Hit send. Low. Family's messy, but it's yours. Emboldened, Logan drafted. Hi Emma. I'm Logan Harper, your brother. Our mom, Evelyn, told me about you. Would love to connect. Crickets followed. Then a reply 2 days later. This is a joke, right? Mom who? The exchange stretched defensive barbs. Then thaw. Emma's words laced with the salt of old wounds. She gave me up like yesterday's news. Why now? Evelyn's calls bridged the gap, her voice stronger over the line. Tell her I'm sorry, Logan. For everything. Video chats ensued, awkward at first. Emma in her sun-drenched studio, Logan in the loft, Evelyn beaming from her recliner. Laughter crept in. Shared recipes, Evelyn's cornbread versus Emma's sourdough. Stories of what-ifs. It was fragile, this new branch, but it bloomed, Emma booking a flight for the wedding, to see what all the fuss is about. Romance with Hunter reignited in stolen moments. A weekend getaway to Callaway Gardens, azaleas exploding in pink fury, where they hike trails hand in hand, shedding clothes in a secluded pine grove. You're my north, Hunter breathed, Logan's name a prayer on his lips. Back home, though, fissures widened. Hunter's bar shifts bled into dawns, excuses piling like dirty laundry. Logan confronted him one muggy night, rain lashing the windows. It's Marcus, isn't it? I see the texts. Hunter's face crumpled, denial dying on his tongue. He's going through shit. Divorce, depression. I was just listening. Listening turned to lunches. Then nights at Marcus's apartment in Grant Park. Hunter crashing on the couch, swearing fidelity. But doubt festered. Logan's trust a house of cards in a gale. Therapy ramped up. Raj's office a confessional. Boundaries, Hunter. Or resentment builds walls. Hunter nodded, but actions lagged. A forgotten anniversary dinner. Cologne that wasn't his on Hunter's collar. Climax brewed at the bachelor party. A raucous affair at a drag bar in East Atlanta Village. Strippers in feather boas. Shots of fireball flowing. But Hunter vanished mid-toast. Logan found him outside, slumped against the alley wall, Marcus's arms slung casual over his shoulders. Lo! Wait! Hunter slurred, but Logan was already walking, cab lights blurring through hot tears. The loft confrontation was volcanic. Accusations flying, Hunter's pleas drowned in Logan's roar. I forgave you once. What am I to you? A safe landing after your joyrides. Hunter sank to his knees, sobs racking. I love you. Damn it. Marcus's habit. Easy. You're home. But words rang hollow. Betrayal's knife twisting deeper. Logan crashed at Tyler's. The couch a lumpy confessor. Days blurred, work on autopilot. Emma's emails a lifeline. Men are fools. Hermano. But you're gold. Evelyn sensed the storm over calls. Fight for it, son. Or let go clean. The wedding loomed 6 weeks out. RSVPs mounting like pressure. Hunter showed up at the nonprofit unannounced. Flowers wilting in the heat. Eyes red-rimmed. I'm done with him. Blocked. Ghosted. Therapy solo now. Marry me still. Logan wavered, the pull of their history a riptide. They reconciled in fits. Passionate make-up sex that left bruises like love bites, promises etched in sweat. Emma arrived a week early, hugging Logan fierce at Hartsfield-Jackson, her energy a whirlwind of turmeric lattes and essential oils. "Mom's mini-me," she teased, but her eyes held Evelyn's steel. They toured the city, world of Coca-Cola fizzing with nostalgia, Martin Luther King sights stirring souls. Over vegan brunch at Octane, Emma spilled her adoption tale. Loving parents in Berkeley, art school rebellion, a life painted in broad strokes. I resented her for years. But forgiveness is freedom. Logan. Her words anchored him as wedding prep intensified. Vows drafted under Hunter's watchful eye, doubts nipping like chiggers. The rehearsal dinner at a farm-to-table spot in Cabbagetown was magic, fairy lights, fiddles, Evelyn beaming via Zoom from Willow Creek, her color returning. Toasts flowed, Tyler's ribald jokes, Emma's poetic nod to found families. Hunter pulled Logan aside in the herb garden, moonflowers unfurling like secrets. "I almost lost you. Won't happen again." Their kiss sealed it, tender under stars. But as plates cleared, Hunter's phone vibrated, ignored, but Logan glimpsed the name, Marcus. "One last time, please." Betrayal's final blow landed 2 nights before the wedding. Logan, insomnia his old foe, drove to the loft early from a late planning sesh. The door creaked open to murmurs. Hunter's voice, low and urgent, from the bedroom. Heart in throat, Logan peered. Hunter and Marcus, entwined on their bed, sheets twisted like lies. The world narrowed to that tableau, Logan's gasp shattering the illusion. "Get out," he said, voice steel. Marcus bolted, pants in hand. Hunter begged. "It was closure, stupid." "I know." But Logan was ice, packing a go-bag with mechanical calm. "Closure? That's my line. We're done." He fled to Emma's hotel, collapsing in sobs as she held him, rocking like a child. "You deserve epic, not this wreckage." Dawn broke over the skyline, decisions crystallizing. Wedding canceled, guests texted regrets. Evelyn called at sunrise, her voice a bomb. "Come home, baby. We'll sort it." But Atlanta held him, Emma's solidarity, the nonprofit's embrace. Hunter's voicemails piled. "I'm broken without you. Therapy, whatever it takes." Logan deleted them, but ache lingered, a hollow in his chest. As guests dispersed, confusion rippling through the queer grapevine, Logan walked Piedmont Park alone, ducks quacking indifference. Betrayal had stripped him bare, but in the ruins, seeds of self stirred, love not as rescue, but as strength. Little did he know, across miles, Evelyn's health teetered again, a call inbound that would rewrite endings. The park bench was worn smooth by countless confessions, Logan's fingers tracing graffiti hearts as joggers blurred past in the October chill. 2 days post-blow-up, and the city felt vast. Echoing, Hunter's things cleared out in a supervised purge, the loft echoing with ghosts. Emma dragged him to yoga in Grant Park, downward dog a futile stretch against grief's grip. "Breathe through it. Hermano," she coached, but Logan's exhales carried Hunter's scent, faint as regret. Work offered solace. A teen named Riley, wide-eyed and outed by a sibling, echoed Logan's youth. "It gets better?" Riley asked. Logan nodded, meaning it. "Yeah, kid. It does. Evelyn's daily check-ins were lifelines, her voice steadier, laced with wry humor. Church bingo's the same, old biddies cheating at cards. Wish you were here to call him out. Emma extended her stay, the sisters by proxy bond deepening over thrift shop hunts and late-night Chattahoochee walks. She confessed her own heartaches, a string of ghostings, a gallery that tanked her spirit. Love's a gamble, Logan. But solitude, that's the real jackpot sometimes. Her paintings arrived by mail. One gifted. A canvas of intertwined roots breaking stone, titled Uprooted. It hung above the loft's mantel, a talisman. Hunter's shadow lingered, sightings at the Eagle, mutual friends' awkward silences. A care package showed up, Hunter's compass sketch, framed, note scrawled, "You were my true north. Forgive me someday." Logan burned it in the sink, flames dancing like fireflies, ashes swirling down the drain. Therapy with Raj evolved. Grief's not linear, Logan. There's a backroad drive, twists, dead ends, scenic views. He journaled vows unspoken, words for the man he'd almost become, whole, unafraid. Thanksgiving approached. Emma insisting on a found family feast, at the loft turkey from a food truck, mac and cheese from a soul food joint, pies baked with Evelyn's recipe over FaceTime. Tyler brought his new beau, a barista with killer dimples. Raj crashed with stories of boundary-setting triumphs. Laughter filled the space, displacing hurt, toasts to next chapters clinking glasses. But mid-carve, Logan's phone rang, Evelyn's number, but the area code wrong. Voice unfamiliar. A nurse, clipped and urgent. "Mr. Harper, your mother's had a stroke. Critical. She's asking for you." The flight to Birmingham was a blur, Emma squeezing his hand at takeoff. "Go. I'll hold the fort." Willow Creek blurred into focus from the air. Red barns dotting fields, the river snaking like a vein. Hospital 2.0, sharper smells, faster beeps. Evelyn lay intubated, machines a chorus of mercy. Dr. Patel's face grave. Clot from the surgery scar tissue. "We operated, but it's touch and go." Logan took her hand, swollen but warm, whispering, "I'm here, Mom. Fight like you always do." Vigil stretched hours into eternity. Coffee gone cold. Hunter texting support from afar. "Thinking of you. Let me know if you need anything." Logan replied neutral. Walls rebuilt. Dawn broke. Evelyn stirring. Tube removed. Voice a croak. "Logan. My boy." Tears tracked her cheeks. His following suit. "Emma came," he said. "She's fierce, like you." Evelyn's eyes lit. "Good. Now, listen. Got something to say. Been carrying it too long." The confession unlocked then. Floodgates wide. Not just Clara, but the depth. Letters saved in a safety deposit box. A life unlived in stolen moments. Weekends in Birmingham motels. Post-divorce from Robert. Before Logan knew enough to question absences. "I loved women, son. Deep. But society crushes queers like us. I chose silence to protect you, from whispers, from pain." Logan's breath hitched. "You could have told me. I would have understood." She squeezed his hand. "Knew that, deep down. That's why I pushed so hard, afraid you'd suffer my regrets." The room filled with truths. Evelyn's vote for marriage equality in secret, pride pins hidden in her Bible, a quiet ally in a town of thorns. Humanity bloomed in the telling. Mother to son, queer to queer, scars shared like badges. Hunter? She asked softly. Logan sighed. Gone. Betrayed me. Evelyn's gaze sharpened. Then let him go. You deserve a love that builds, not breaks. Peace settled. Evelyn rallying enough for discharge talks. Rehab in view. Logan stayed a week, nursing her through physio walks in the hospital garden. Pecan pie smuggled from the diner. Emma joined via video, the trio a tapestry rewoven. Return to Atlanta was cathartic. Loft aired out, Hunter's echoes faded. He dove into a new project, mentoring program for rural LGBTQ+ youth. Roots and Rainbows, inspired by his circuitous path. Emma extended indefinitely, her studio a pop-up in the spare room, canvases spilling color. Holiday cards arrived. From Evelyn, a photo of her in a subtle rainbow scarf. From Riley, a thank you doodle. New Year's Eve, Logan stood on the rooftop, fireworks blooming over the skyline. Emma toasting, to truths unearthed. Hunter appeared uninvited, leaner, eyes haunted, a bottle of Logan's favorite bourbon in hand. Can we talk? Rain misted, city hum below. Words tumbled, Hunter's rehab stint, sponsor meetings, the void without Logan a mirror to his wreckage. I was running from myself, dragging you down. But I see now you're the brave one. Logan listened, heart steady. I forgive you, Hunt. But we're different paths now. Handshake turned hug, closure sweet as bourbon burn. Hunter walked away, shoulders squared, into the night. Spring greened the city, Logan's life a mosaic. Evelyn visiting for Emma's gallery opening. Mother and daughter arm in arm. Dates tentative. A architect named Miles. Coffee turning to hikes. The nonprofit thriving. Riley's success story a beacon. One evening, porch swing creaking under stars. Evelyn confided, Clara'd be proud of us all. Logan smiled, compass within steady. Betrayal had carved him hollow, but confession filled the spaces with light. Love not perfect, but profound, a humanistic hymn to endurance. In Willow Creek's quiet, Evelyn penned letters to Clara's ghost, releasing what she'd clutched. Atlanta pulsed onward. Logan its beat, gay, unbroken, home at last in his skin. The end? Not tragic, nor fairy tale neat, but real, a man, mended, moving forward under endless southern skies.